Alright, welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to be talking about flyer design and elements of graphic design. You've been hearing about flyer design. I need a flyer design. This is a flyer design, blah blah blah, and the rest of them. But you don't really understand what it's all about and what it is used for. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to be explaining everything you need to know about a flyer design. I'm also going to be talking about the elements of graphic design. Are you ready? If you are ready, then we are ready. Alright, let's do it together. So now, what is a flyer? A flyer is a small single-page document or paper that is used to promote or advertise a product, service, event, or idea. So now, first of all, it is a small single-page document or paper. You understand? A flyer is not a billboard. A flyer is not a banner. It is what? It is a small single page what? Document. It's just a small document, a small single page document that has details of an event or an idea or a product or a service. And I want you to note something, that a flyer, the work of a flyer is to promote something, is to promote or advertise something. You understand? It's not the work of a flyer to educate. A flyer is not meant to educate. A flyer is meant to promote something. It is not meant to educate your audience on something. It is meant to do what? To promote something. It's meant to do what? To advertise something. So that is it. So it contains concise and eye-catching information, including text, images, and graphics designed to grab the attention of potential customers and audience. Flyers are often distributed in public places, handed out at events, or posted on social media platforms. That's the one we call e-flyer. You understand? Social media flyer, e-flyer, and stuff like that. So now, like I said, a flyer is meant to do what? To promote. It's not meant to do what? To educate. It's meant to do what? It's meant to do what? It's meant to promote a product. So now, this is an example of a flyer. As you can see, this is an e-flyer. It was created to what? To promote a graphic design class. You understand? It was created to promote a graphic design class. So that is it about what a flyer is all about. So you also have other different flyers. It can be to promote your business, it can be to promote a course, it can be to promote an event, it can be to promote a church program, it can be to promote um a webinar, it can be to promote a workshop, it can be to promote anything. You understand? To advertise something, an event, a service. Maybe you're a makeup artist, you can design a flyer to promote your service, you can design a flyer to promote your offer. You can, as a what do they call it, as a dry cleaner, a as a business person, you can design a flyer, you can create a flyer to do what? To promote an offer. So as a graphic designer, it's your work to do what? To create designs, to do what? To promote. You are to what? You can create design for different businesses rather. You can create designs for different businesses to do what? To promote their offer, to promote their product, to promote their event, to promote whatever they are what they are selling. You understand? So that is it. So now let's move over to the elements of graphic design. So when we talk about elements of graphic design, we are talking about those things that we use to do what? To create a design. Those things that we use to create a design. Let's use the analogy of preparing a pot of soup. Let's say, for instance, we want to prepare egusi soup. You and I know that there are different ingredients you need to bring together to prepare egusi soup. Number one is you have to get your egusi, you have to get your vegetable, your oil, your maggi, salt, pepper, water, your protein, either meat, fish, okporoko, like stockfish, and other things. So now that is it about ingredients. So now different persons, different tribes in Nigeria have their different methods of preparing egusi soup. But the conclusion of everything is that we prepare the egusi soup. The conclusion of everything is that what we prepare the egusi soup. So the way the Igbos prepare the egusi soup is different from the way the Yorubas prepare the egusi soup. And the way the Yorubas prepare the egusi soup is different from the way the Calabars, is it Calabar or Calabania? God. It's different from the way the Southerners prepare their egusi soup, and it's also different from the way the Northerners prepare their egusi soup. Even the way you even grind the egusi differs. You understand? The way the Yoruba grinds theirs is different from the way the Igbos grind theirs. There are some persons that would dry it in, you understand, different methods, you understand, but all the same is that what we are using these elements. So elements of graphic design are those things you use to create your designs. So these are the things you do what you now manipulate them to suit what you want to create. You can now manipulate these elements to suit what you want to create based on your preference and the knowledge you have. You understand? You cannot create beyond what you do not know. Like, you cannot create what you do not know. Just like when you want to prepare soup, you cannot prepare, you prepare based on your understanding, based on your knowledge level. You understand? Most of us don't know that so most of us believe that you adding onion first. There are some persons that believe that if you want to prepare soup, you don't add onion first. Onion is part of the last thing you add. Maybe you add the onion when you are putting your vegetable. While some persons believe that onion should be among the first things you add while preparing your soup. You understand? So these are different based on their knowledge level, based on what they understand about the different elements, about the different ingredients. Some persons will prefer, okay, salt. When salt is too much, they have to add more water to balance it. Some persons will be like, what am I even saying? So just that thing, just the way you cook. You understand? Most of us we cook by assumption. You understand? Why there are people that cook by assumption. They believe that, okay, if they have put the oil, they have to wait for the oil to boil it very well before they put the next ingredient. But there are some persons they'll just put everything once, everything will boil together. So just depending on their knowledge level and depending on what they understand. That's the same thing when it comes to elements of graphic design. There are lots of elements, there are different elements, but how you use them matters. You understand? So in the next video, we're going to be talking about principles of graphic design. But in this video, we're going to be talking about elements. I'll explain these elements to you. You get to know about them. Then in the next video, we'll talk about how to use these elements. Hope you understand. So now, what's the first element we have here? The first element we have here is what is line. The first element is line. So line in graphic design can be used for a wide range of purposes, creating, connecting content, stressing a word or phrase, forming patterns, etc. Lines can be vertical, horizontal, diagonal, circular, patterned, free form, or solid. Sorry about the background noise. They are used as roadmaps to direct the viewer's eye movement. So when we talk about line, we have different, it can be horizontal, it can be vertical, it can be diagonal, it can be zigzag, zigzag, or be zigzag. Yeah. So we have lots of them. So we have lots of them. So now, I'm going to show you. So lines, you can use lines to separate information. You can use line to separate information. You can use line to create emphasis on a particular element. You understand? You can use line to create emphasis on a particular element. So there are lots of things you can use line to do. Let me show you a particular design. Just pray that design is you. Don't want to stress. Shit. Pew. Sorry. I want to show you an element, a design where line was used effectively. Okay, so this is it. So you see how line was used here to arrange this text, to separate text and stuff like that. So that is example of how line can be used in graphic design. Hope you understand. So that is that with line. So the next one is what? The next element of graphic design is shape. Meanwhile, in this video, we are going to talking about 5 elements of graphic design. Though we have there are elements of design, there are more than five. You understand? We have more than 5 elements of graphic design. But the truth is that all these elements are interconnected. Like most of all these elements, they are interconnected with with these 5 major elements. You understand? So we're going to talking about these five. Then in subsequent video, we'll touch the other ones. So now the next one we're going to talking about now, the next element is shape. So what is shape? Shape is is any dimensional area with a recognizable boundary. The three basic type of shape include geometric shape, natural shape, and abstract shape. So when we talk about geometric shape, we are talking about circle, square, triangle, right angle, pentagon, octagon, nonagon, hexagon, and all those things, all those stuffs. You understand? I'm talking about a two-dimensional shape. You understand? Something that has 2 dimension and stuff like that. So I want to talk about natural, same thing with natural shape. We have leaves, mountains, people. You understand? These things are in real life. It's a three-dimension, like humans, people. We are three-dimensional. You understand? We have this three-dimensional shape, but when we are using them on graphics, we are using them as two-dimensional, 2D. We are using them as 2D. I don't know if you understand the point. You are using it. Okay, let's go back to this image. Like let's use this model, this lady, the trainee. This is Miss Lovett Chiamaka, the lead trainer for the Authority Accelerator Bundle, the founder of Triumphant Theatre. So now let's use her for example. Now you see now, she's a woman, she's a human being, she's a lady. You understand? She has a 3D shape. But when it comes to graphics, she's not exhibiting that 3D shape. You understand? She's sitting as a 2D. You understand? The image is existing as 2D. That's why you cannot rotate her now and see her back. You cannot turn her now and see her side view as it is in the image. You understand? So it is sitting as a shape. Remember, a shape is anything that is 2D. There is has two-dimensional form or two-dimensional guinea. Let me get the English that was used there. Two-dimensional shape. Okay, a shape is a two-dimensional shape. Okay, so that is it. When it comes to graphics, we are using it as what? As a two-dimension. That's why you cannot manipulate it now to see her back, to see what is written at her back or her side view. It's just that particular view you can see. You understand? So the third one is abstract shapes. That's when we talk about icons, graphic representations, stylizations, and the rest of them. So they give volume to the forms in a design. You don't always have to use a familiar shape. You don't have to always use familiar shapes in your design work. Instead, you can mix it up and put them together, making sure that the placement of them keeps your piece balanced. Sometimes adding just a small shape to a blank area can make the piece look more balanced. There are sometimes you just see some designs, there is nothing there, or just maybe add a shape there to do, or just to make the design balance. Not that there is anything written on the shape or there is any emphasis it is creating, but it's just to make the design look balanced. Let's use this for example. If you look at this now, this right angle here, if you notice it now, there was nothing written there. There was nothing. The right angle is not blocking anybody. It's not creating any emphasis. You understand? It was just placed there to do what? To create a balance. So just placed there to do what? To create a balance. You understand? When we get to the practical section, when we be designing, you will get to know, you understand more about those things. You understand? You understand more about this elements, like how it is used and stuff like that. So sometimes you can just add shape to do what? To create emphasis. It's not to create emphasis, but for aesthetic purpose. You understand? Just to make the design look balanced. You understand? So this be an example of how shape is being used. You can see it is used in different areas here to communicate a message. You understand? So now let's go to form. What is form? To understand form, we must first look at shape. Shape is an area of an artistic composition with defined borders. You understand? Why basically you can tell what's considered inside and outside of a circle or triangle when you see it. Form is a three-dimensional development of a two-dimensional shape. For example, 2D shape like a circle could be transformed into a 3D form like a sphere. In most graphic design, the addition of a 3D of a third dimension that is 3D is an illusion because we are still working with a two-dimensional art form. That is something I explained earlier. Most all these elements that naturally they are in 3D form. When we even bring it to design, it still acts as 2D. You understand? Because it's in its 2D form. You understand? We'll get to explain this better when we get to the practical section. So most graphic design, in addition to okay, the illusion of form is created when we add shading and other visual aspects to a shape to indicate depth. So now the next one we're going to be looking at is texture. So what is texture? Texture is the feel of a surface, whether furry, smooth, rough, soft, gauzy or glossy. So you're talk about texture, you're talking about the feel of what? Of the design. You understand? Is it looking rough? Is it looking smooth? Is it looking busy? Is it looking noisy? It's just about the feel. You understand? It's more about the feel of a design, and this is a very important element. I don't have that particular design in this device, or even if it's in this device, I might find it difficult locating the particular design where I did a birthday flyer design, and I used what did I even use? I used a rough texture for that design. And the client loved the design. Like the client was wow. He wasn't even expecting it. You understand? He wasn't even expecting it. So now the next element we are going to talk about, okay, mastering texture is an important part of making designs look polished and professional. Very important. So now let's go to the fifth element of graphic design. The fifth element is what is typography. But we are going to have a separate video. I'm going to do a separate video on what? On typography. So typography is beyond fonts. It's beyond fonts. There are things you need to understand about typography. We have scanning, typeface, fonts, different types of fonts and stuff like that. So we are going to do a separate video on typography. The next element of graphic design we have is colors, and we're also going to do a separate video on colors and color theory. So now that's it for this so that is it for this particular video. Hope you've learned something and hope you're able to grab something. Please, in case you have any question, do also drop it in the comment section. I or any member of my team member will respond to you swiftly. And also do well to share what you've learned in the comment section. See you in the next video. Thank you.